Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I guess
So
I'll
Alan, what do you have?
Well, actually, I thought that your questions and your topics were kind of the same thing for me, because if you want to talk about reality television, I think the only thing that's real is sports on television. Anything else that they call reality, is heavily edited. And at the end of the shows, when it's closing, they usually have a director and a producer. Do they also have writers on those shows? How does that go with reality? Shouldn't they just turn on the camera and let it go? Well, that's what they do with sports. So I think that my favorite reality show is sports. And this is a great time of the year because I think my favorite is the All-American Fall Classic. It's the baseball playoffs. Today's the last day of the regular season, and there's a lot of drama going on right today. There are some playoff races that are still going on. So I think when it gets to this time of year and the leaves are starting to change outside, it's chilly in the air sometimes, and you turn on the TV in the evening, the sounds of baseball, the theme song that they have, the resonance of the sportscasters when they're bantering amongst each other, the sounds from the stadium, hearing the umpire calling the balls and strikes, all these things really excite me. And I think over the next month, I'm really looking forward to enjoying yet another round of the All-American Fall Classic.
Awesome. And the biggest suspense of the year is, are the Twins going to lose 100 games or not? It comes down to tonight. And I did go to the game last night, so I got to see a win. So,
Oh, yeah?
it was pretty fun. Grand Slam, too.
Yeah.
There was those. So are we done?
Yeah.
Or
Let's
we
time
can
it.
keep going?
Eric can skip today.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll get
Because of
Eric.
our friends.
Thomas.
So growing up, my favorite TV show changed a lot. When I was really little, it was Tom and Jerry. I couldn't wait to get home and turn on Tom and Jerry. It was interesting how every now and then, like 90% of the time, they were just at each other's throats, but there were those occasional ones where they would actually like team up and be friends. Usually it was against the dog. So that was fun to watch when I was a kid. And the other ones from when I was that age were Inspector Gadget, Thundercats, He-Man, G.I. Joe. And then, let's see, as I got older, I always liked the show Twin Peaks. It was just one of the most unusual things that I had seen, and compared to the other shows that were on TV, so I enjoyed watching that. I also enjoyed Northern Exposure. That was a good one too. It's pretty funny. My favorite show right now, though, would have to be Eureka. So if you haven't seen Eureka, it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it's a show about scientists. And the whole city of Eureka was created in somewhere around the start of the atomic age, so the 1940s, 1950s. The idea was to create a town where scientists could live and be unhindered by anything else and just do science. So now there's this huge company there, and they do all kinds of really cool things, from space stuff to chemistry to physics. Everyone in the town is like a super genius, except for the poor town sheriff. He's like the everyman who has to bring the everyman wisdom to the problem solving and solve the mystery each week. So, in sum, there's a lot of shows that you might have watched when you were a kid, but when you get older, watch Eureka.
Thank you. Well, when you said, when you brought up Northern Exposure, I thought you were going to refer to Dancing with the Stars. Nancy Grace, I guess, yeah, slipped out of her. But anyway, thank you. That was awesome. So, I guess that would be
You should answer.
myself. Okay, I'll do it too. I think the one event I look forward to every year, I dabble in triathlons a little bit, but for years we've watched the Ironman Triathlon Championships from Kona, and it's televised. Usually, it happens in October, and it is televised usually in November. And just watching the start of it, watching the announcer going, explaining what everybody's doing, and the number of people that have overcome such huge difficulties in their life and diseases, and here they are doing this endurance event that, for all practical purposes, should take most people a year to do, and these people are doing it in less than 17 hours. And from missing joints or carrying their son on their back or pulling them, riding a bike and pulling them, or someone missing a leg and just trying with all their might to get through the 112-mile bicycle through the Queen Kamehameha Highway or whatever, where it's just through the lava fields. It's traditionally windy there, so they're always fighting winds and gusts, and it's a tough race. And then when you're all done then with the bike, if you make it by 5 o'clock, which is the cutoff time for the bike, then you get to run the marathon. It's like, most people could never envision, other than Eric, of biking 112 miles. Because that, thinking about it, it's gonna, an average person's gonna just going 20 miles an hour. It's taking you 6 hours biking and then running the marathon. So it's a inspiring event, and it always brings some tears to your eyes. And when you're done, it's like, wow, if they can do it, maybe I need to look at trying to do that too. So it's like, do or don't do. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for those awesome table topics, for everyone for participating. I would next like to call up our general evaluator once more to introduce. I will let her do the introductions. Thank you.
We'll move right into the evaluations, and then I'll add my notes to the end. So we'll have the title report. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to do evaluation, pardon me, we're going to do the evaluation for Eric. So Ellen is doing the evaluation, and then Eric, come on up.
Thanks for a nice icebreaker today, Eric.
Yep.
I know you've been with us for a while. This is your first official speech, so it was very nice to get to know more about you. For this first project here, we look at some of the strengths that you already have, and then tell you where you might be able to focus your efforts at improvement in the following projects. So I think that the thing that I noticed when you were standing up here, you look very nice. You have good posture, and your voice really filled this room. So it was very easy to listen to what you had to say, and also we got to know you really well. We learned something about your personality and about your interests, and that was really interesting as well. I think that because it's a story that you know well, you didn't feel that you needed notes at all. I'm sure you noticed you stumbled at a few points because maybe you lost track of what you really wanted to tell us. These were things that you knew well, so once you remembered what you wanted to say, you really didn't have any problem with speaking fluently and smoothly. I was worried maybe that might upset your rhythm a little bit. I know when you can't think of what you want to say next, suddenly it looks like everyone's really looking at you. You feel the lasers coming right into you, and you feel a little sweat maybe pouring on your head. But that's why getting up in front of the group, it really helps. Practice really helps you get over those little fears if you felt any. But I thought you did a great job, and actually it's very commendable to get up here without any notes. It's something that they encourage for this project to memorize the introduction and conclusion, but there you just went with the whole thing, so very nice. Some things that you might want to think about for improvement is eye contact. I noticed that you looked around the room a lot, but your eye contact is a little bit fleeting. Maybe you talked to people and just moved around a little bit.
Okay.
But it's possible to focus in and talk to somebody in the audience, and that also helps to kind of keep confidence when you're speaking. is what I've found. Another thing is you had some opportunities, even in this speech, to try some kinds of vocal variety. When you talked about the bicycle that you were very happy to find and you'd always wanted, it was called the GT Tempest. That's something new for us here. I don't know if everyone has heard of the GT Tempest, but a name like that can be used to really show some enthusiasm, and you can build it up by saying, and I found the GT Tempest. You know, a name like that. Or another thing is, I dreamed about it for years. That kind of pause in there really helps to build the emotion and really show us how you are feeling. So you'll have a lot of opportunity to use some effects like that in upcoming speeches. So once again, I found your icebreaker to be very entertaining. I feel like I have many questions about bicycles I'd like to ask you. So you really taught us something today.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Eric, for a great speech. And so now we can go to the time report.
So today we had one speech. Eric, your speech came in at 6 minutes 26 seconds, so just slightly over the time for the icebreaker. And Alan followed suit, slightly over, at being 3 minutes 19 seconds. We had a bunch of table topics today, so let's kind of go around the room. Most of us were pretty consistent among the group. We kind of got longer as we went around, but Maggie, you were at 128, myself at 123, Sheila 124, Jason 123, just like me, Alan 134, we went to Tom at 150, and then Jim had to gild the lily and go at 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
Thank you for the time report, John. And we have the counter report sheet, please.
I'm going to admit right off the bat that I am not the best counter, grammarian counter. I just have a really hard time focusing on that and trying to listen at the same time. But Jason's lasers are gilding the lily. I didn't notice anything much with Tom. Alan, you often use uhs or ums, and you repeat the word, restart or whatever you want to call it, double clutch, it's all the same thing. So you would say the, or I think. So that's something that I think generally you do when you're thinking, but when you're flowing, you don't do that.
Did you count?
I didn't.
Lost count.
No,
The moral is try not to think.
I would say it's I would say it's a few.
Okay.
You know, not a whole lot and not just one, but just a few.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Jason, you're fired. Speaker one, Eric, you had a few ahs and ums. You had an and then and a but one of each, and you did a couple of restarts. And you, along with me and Maggie, lip smack. And I notice it when I do it, and I try really hard not to do it, but I notice when other people do it, it's annoying, and people have told me that before. So something to be conscious of. So.
Use water.
Yeah.
I know. Let's see. Maggie, you had a couple restarts. John Callio, you had a couple restarts. Are you bored? And John, when you first started, you had a couple uhs and ums. But pretty good overall.
Thank you very much. Well, for my notes, I thought that we have had a very good meeting. I think in a smaller room with a smaller number of people, hopefully that will increase the comfort level, especially for icebreakers. And the opportunity for everyone to participate in table topics is terrific. I would not call it gilding the lily